Hello and welcome back. We are here continuing our fascist pie-fingering run in Victoria 3 as the United Kingdom. Last episode, we kind of did a little bit of the starting steps. We talked about how, the petite bourgeoisie is incredibly powerful for Great Britain, which of course is why we are leaning into them. We paid almost nothing in interest. Like, look at that. Look at those interest payments, baby. The minus 15%, and they're not even powerful yet. That's going to be a really big come up. We also talked about the unique companies, in particular focusing quite a bit on Barca, Vaughan & Co., which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. But this was a particularly big one because it's giving us construction and throughput bonus on all of these. And, here we have state construction efficiency. If we take a look on our information tab, this really, is important to emphasize. We're getting 6% from iron frame buildings, 10% from road maintenance, 10% from consolidated steelworks. That's our other company, and also from efficient bureaucracy. We are getting a very solid amount of, construction efficiency here that is going to help us come up. And this is excluding the 35% bonus we get on our best companies. So we are going to be getting over 60% state construction efficiency, when we are building up these iron mines, the coal mines, the steel, and the tools, which is like mainly the loop that we're currently building. To that end, we're going to take a look in the market. We did also implement a market strategy, which is we are exporting, everything that's capitalist owned, pretty much with a couple exceptions, like coal and iron, where we have them on import prioritization, so that people can't, it looks like we could send a bunch to the Mexican market and have them eat a whole bunch of tariffs, and they'll still be really high level. So let's do that. This will fund us in terms of tariffs. We really don't want the price of iron and coal to come up too much, and the reason being is we need to maintain the productivity bonus on this steel syndicate for us to be able to get the state construction bonus. We're not as concerned about this prosperity bonus, but we are really concerned about this prosperity bonus. But let's also see if we can export any of tools or steel, which we do have export prioritization on, before we start fingering some pies. And then also going to see if we can export steel. Steel almost always is very difficult to export. I think we have one steel route total. And we just taking a look at productivity. We are exporting, some of our consumer goods, this type of thing. And there's our one steel route exporting steel to France. And so that'll be good. And of course, it's time to thumb a pie. Whose pie? America's pie. American pie is the pie that's going to get thumbed. You say it's Apple, I say it's mine. We are going to stick it in them and ask for war goals. Oh, what are we going to do? By the way, we categorically do not approve of the oppression of indigenous peoples and the exploitation of their land for our own benefit. Us in the UK would never do such a thing as this. The American people, absolutely despicable. So you know what we need to do? We need to, of course, just free some. Oop, nope, that's not what we wanted. That's really not what we wanted. I'm sure we could still sway. Yeah, okay, we can. We're gonna ask to liberate New Africa, though. And so that will be our pie thumbing for them. We might thumb this pie. We might not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're quite ready to thumb two pies at once, but maybe we'll go for it. We will, of course, move this British army over, or it's already headed on over. So we'll move, kind of most of our armies here, except for the British National Guard that we are currently constructing and recruiting up in order to just stay put in the main HQ. We probably should put in some mobilization PMs, but it looks like we can put them in right now. So we'll put them in on our two main armies. We actually don't want the railway one. That one I think will cause problems. So we'll just do these ones for now. And get off and carry on our way. We do have to be a little bit careful with a lot of these sways because they will always try and return their stuff here if they can. Usually, I don't think you're usually able to actually return stuff. I feel like when it's native uprising, so maybe this is a little bit interesting, or an asymmetry where the AI can do this and you can't. But anyways, 2 arms. We have decided to actually leave this little 5 stack behind while our National Guard can recruit up. We will have a 10 stack that we're just going to leave at home at all times to prevent naval landings of our enemies. And so that's going to be pretty good. Coming on up though, I do think we want to expand the universities a little bit now that we're kind of settling into our little construction construction loop to some extent, and the things are not just ragingly profitable. And this will be really good. We're going to build up to the economies of scale cap, and so we will actually be hitting our cap innovation, or our soft cap innovation, which we're currently not hitting. And you want to build the universities in one place because they really benefit from throughput, because throughput increases the input goods, in this case paper, and the output, and it does not increase wages. And so because the wages are such a high percentage of this building's cost, that'll be really, really valuable. Also, what we're going to do here, kind of setting up to make it so that we want to use some auto queue. It's not the most efficient to not choose everything, but it does make you a lot more sane. And so we're also going to set it up for fish, which is not necessarily the most efficient, but it's going to be actually really nice for us because, one, these are merchant guild owned. And this is fantastic for us that they're merchant guild owned, because this means that petite bourgeoisie can get power off of them, at least until we get onto steamers. But secondly, we're going to make sure that we have, not in Wales. We're going to delete the one in Wales. Well, actually, maybe we can take the one in Wales, because it requires, they'll tend to be petite bourgeoisie oriented anyways. And some English people will get employed. Anyways, we'll leave the one in Wales. Generally, we don't want to build in Wales specifically. So we'll put these in on each of these. And I think we'll might as well do no whaling stations. And we're going to put them on auto expand. They're a replacement for, grain, which is fantastic because our auto queue will produce less grain. And they employ merchant guilds, which is shopkeepers, which tend to lead in petite bourgeoisie. We really want to get a doubled bonus on our petite bourgeoisie, and while we've been doing a lot of efforts, we've only managed to double, their clout from like around 5% to 10% so far. And a big part of this is, the difficulty that we have as a result of, having Ireland and Wales, I think is a big part of it, because your pops have to be of your primary culture in order to go PB, and these guys, the Welsh, cannot go PB, and we can't convert them or assimilate them because Welsh is going to be the native culture in here. So, or it's going to be a homeland in Wales, and just like Ireland, this is going to be homeland, so we're not going to assimilate them to English. Except if we can get other pops to come here, then we can assimilate those pops to English. So if we got Han pops here, we could assimilate those pops, but that would require us not discriminating in the first place, which leaves us in a little bit of a conundrum for how to handle the entire migration and, a pop traction situation, which I'm not exactly sure how we're going to resolve. It's like either ethno-state or multiculturalism, it's kind of how it feels. We would actually want to go national religion if there was a way for us to seed, a Protestant here, but I don't know of a particularly good way for doing this, other than building so much here that we migrate some people over to here, which just seems obscene, because to my knowledge, without a single Protestant here, we will get zero conversion. If we had one Protestant here, we would start getting some conversion, and maybe if we build here a little bit, we'll get like something going. I mean, there's a Jewish person here, or 100, and so maybe maybe there's some way for us to do it. I don't know why they're Jewish people here, actually. I'm so confused. I'm as confused as you guys are. But we are going to not thumb any more pies while we're involved in this war, just because Well, a couple reasons. One, we don't want to give back New York, so we really want to make sure we win this play. And so, actually, this is kind of just the reason. So we're going to just stake it on this, and right now we're just going to push. We're not going to do any landings. We might land with the 11 stack. The 11 stack is pushing here. I'd kind of rather push this out in New England, and then re-land with the 30 stack and the 11 stack into here. The natives are going to get enforced on, but we don't really care about that. What we care about is living New Africa and avoiding having to return New York to its unrightful owner. Okay, so we saw naval landing coming in, so we moved the 11 stack over here, but we're seeing that in New York, we're not even really making that good forward progress up, and it's only with our 75 stack that we can really make progress. And so, so far, the beta has been actually pretty buggy when it comes to splitting armies when you're actually in the middle of a thing, so we're gonna try something else You know, I am concerned about this landing getting in. We only have now 17, what is this, 16, 18 guys defending. I think that should be able to defend the landing, but these have been a little bit inconsistent in regards to how many landings can get in, and so we've seen sometimes landings maybe like get in that shouldn't get in. Where's the army that's coming our way? Is it this 20 stack? We could probably defend against the 20 stack, so maybe we don't need to worry about that too much, but I do think we want to land specifically on the District of Columbia now, instead of really trying to... we need to use our 30 stack. We won't be able to get the landing in with the other one, so as soon as... Okay, this battle finishes, and the other one starts immediately? That's not ideal. We want to try and do a landing so we can start getting the ticking war score on these guys. And I don't want to use one of these armies because they're defending our capital. I guess we'll just kind of wait for both battles to finish, both the offense and the defense to finish. Like, I don't know, we only got like a push with 7k guys when we have 35k there, which is like not really ideal. But now I think we don't have... We just constantly have an army or a battle. I'm not sure it's supposed to work like that, because we're trying to use this 30 stack, right? And we're waiting for the battle, and then the battle's starting, and then immediately another battle starting, like with no time whatsoever. And we're doing okay on the defense, so maybe we just leave this guy on defense, or these guys, these gentlemen. Maybe it's because there's so many generals, and this is how it works now. See, this guy's currently in a fight, so... public address goes awry. Of course it does. It always does. We'll take the enactment chance. But once this finishes, then we'll set everyone to defend, and maybe we just have to attrition them out here, this sort of thing. As long as this landing doesn't get in over here, we should be fine. And the landing... Okay. So the 17, we'll make a suitable offer for that. The 17 stack is getting in here. And it looks like they're doing extraordinarily well. How are they able to push so well into us? I don't like the look of this. This doesn't look good. Obviously, we knew that the Great Sioux Nation would be getting enforced on either way. But now, with that army getting in, that actually is really concerning. And we do want to really badly land here. If we want to have a chance of kind of making this work. So we're going to put in that landing and just give up our rear here, as it were. You know, sometimes you just got to give up your rear, but that's not going to feel very comfortable. Because I do think... I mean, maybe this is just one battle and they just, like, high-rolled it, but, like... they're getting in on us, so they are going to occupy 1/3, and it's going to go 1/3, 2/3, 3 or 99%, and the last battle gets them in. But here we're defending okay. Okay, so maybe we don't have to worry. We are still giving up the rear, but, and this is another bug that's quite common with the mod, or not the mod, with the beta, is that as soon as we see that this guy is currently traveling to state name. As soon as the battle finishes, people get unassigned from fronts. And so now this guy's traveling back to the England HQ. And so we're going to have to... They're just going to instantly occupy all of, you know, New York. And we're going to have to try and figure out a strategy for still winning this war anyways. So just as an example of some of the military bugginess that we encounter in 1.5, our 75 stack is bricked. It is not possible for us to win this war without this 75 stack because it's over 50% of our army. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and transfer it to the 6th Army, but if this doesn't work, we might have to resolve this war through other means, and it's also going to take, you know, 6 weeks for this to happen, and in that 6 weeks, like, we would be wanting to try to land, do stuff of this nature, because, like, obviously we want to try and get in. I don't think we're getting in here with our 30 stack just by themselves. It seems that we are able to defend here, but being able to defend here is not sufficient because their only war goal is New York and they control that. And so, you know, we are in a little bit of an awkward space, but we will try and see if we can figure out some way to resolve this. close in our favor. So we managed to recover the stack, but by merging it into the 6th British Army, but unfortunately, we've tried landing New York a few times because this is the #1 priority, because it makes it so they stop taking on us, and we're running out of time here, but it just auto-fails every single time, which must be because it's occupied. I have no idea why it's auto-failing, but now we're going to try and land the capital, but of course we're not going to win them in a race, so maybe the 30 stack will be allowed to try and navally invade here. This is a war that we would, see, it just automatically fails, and so there's really, when someone else leaves the war, or is the war leader, this seems to cause problems, and so we might have to use some extraordinary means to resolve this war, which is a bit unfortunate. And just like that, magic, we won the war. Okay, so just kind of review and like a little bit, if someone's interested in playing in the 1.5 and you're not really sure, just expect to see a whole lot of weird stuff, in regards to the military not really operating as it should. First of all, there's no naval battles, so we weren't able to use our huge navy to defend the coast. But second of all, we had, our guys get unassigned from the front and sent back to the home HQ. As soon as the Great Sioux Nation capitulated, this often happens when someone leaves the war. We also had, our army get bricked, and so we needed to re-merge the army. It took several weeks, and then we were not able to re-land what was the most important province for the entire war. And so, if you're going to ask yourself, should I play the 1.5 beta? Obviously, these problems will be fixed by release, but if, dealing with these sorts of frustrations or weird elements is something that is off-putting to you, then don't engage in the beta, right? But what's really cool about the beta, I think, is the local price system here, where you are dealing with the influence of having market price affect things, and this is going to make you, want to build your market in a particular way and vertically integrate, and it's more economically interesting, and we have the companies and we have all this stuff, but we will try and resolve that immediately. I did see this place, it doesn't have enough infrastructure, so we'll try and resolve that, but now we have to go and try and find how to get the profitability of these steel mills up, which is not good. Not good. That is tough. That is an essential element of kind of what we're trying to do. So let's go into the trade route and see. Let's see if we can try and import. But yeah, the main point I'm trying to make here is if I've been asked quite a lot, should I play the beta, should I not play the beta? And it's really a function of how annoying our bugs are to you, and if they're extremely annoying, then you don't play it, and if it's not too big a deal, then you can play it. We'll import from some coal, and we are doing import prioritization on these goods to try and make it so that we can depress the price here, and we improve the balance here, and productivity I think just climbed a little bit. So let's just take a quick look. If we are now increasing in prosperity. We really want to maintain this 10% state construction efficiency. But yes, we were victorious over the Americans here, and their pie has been successfully thumbed or fingered. Since we're not in a war though, we can do the federate journal entry, which is going to merge 2 of these states, which is going to be useful because eventually we will want to annex these guys, and so we will click Confederate Canada, and it'll merge 2 of these. God Save the Queen, Lower Canada will annex Hudson Bay Company, and then we will want to improve relations with one of these other guys, not just this other one. And kind of Oregon District, I guess we'll do this. Upper Canada. No, we need a little bit left over to deal with the Australia stuff. And then we will do the same thing, federating Australia, God Save the Queen, and they will annex each other, and we will make sure that we improve relations, and so that we can come back and do this again in whatever the cooldown is. I think it's something like 5 years. But yeah, other than that, we'll be on lookout for for pies to stick our fingers in. Hey, we get public schools, and that's going to help with the assimilation. And so we do want to now pass something that these guys are going to like, because they are not happy with us right now, and I know just the thing. Secret police. So we're going to put that in, and hopefully that'll pass relatively easy. It is going to be a little bit of a slow pass without having the armed forces in government, but that's going to be okay. We see we're on 79, and so we have... well, we are on 79 because we increased taxes quite a lot. We are hemorrhaging money. The big reason we're hemorrhaging money is now we're having to pay interest, but once this goes away, our interest payments should shoot down quite a bit. I said quite a bit. Yeah, there we go. It's minus 5k. There's still more problems than that. We really overbuilt construction a little bit. You know, kind of in conjunction with finishing these universities, it is a little bit expensive, and so we will wind this down. I said we will wind this down. Oh, we just instantly pip a Yankee secession. That's unfortunate. So we can't delete these construction sectors, but I think we can just keep building here. We also have a huge glut of bureaucracy, unfortunately, but you know, nobody... Yeah, let's increase the law enforcement a little bit, so that'll kind of help out too. And then we do have secret police coming on in, which is going to, you know, help with these secession movements nonsense business. So wood is a major expense for us and a major difficulty. We're probably going to import a little bit of wood. You know, not necessarily a huge amount. We're also going to look to construct a little bit more, but we're going to put import routes from Russia, Prussia, and Brazil here. We have plenty of convoys, so we really don't, that doesn't need to be a heuristic that informs. We're going to put in a few more, but we're also going to, you know, put, let's see about building some wood back home here. We have it on auto-expand, I think, in a couple areas. Oh, auto-expands went away. We're going to put auto-expanding wood in all of our areas here as well, because wood is just extraordinarily efficient, even though we don't have a construction bonus from a company on wood. Really not a sufficiently large deal that we can just, you know, forego some of this wood. The wood's very important for us, and so we will build it in all of the places where we have a large, you know, primary culture group. We're not going to build it in Wales, and we're not going to build it in Ireland, because those pops, we do not want to increase the clout in those regions, because they are not going to be contributing to the petite bourgeoisie, whom we are trying to get above 20% clout. So modern sewage is going to be a tech that stands out as being a lot better in 1.5 than in 1.4, because since you're building local economies, being able to build the construction sectors, you know, where you already have the steel and this type of stuff is going to be really valuable. So if we come in here and we sort by upkeep costs, we see that, you know, some of the cheaper ones are Lancashire, Yorkshire, Midlands, where we've already built up. Of course, we've exhausted the labor a little bit, but this is going to be an important thing to note. We also do see the very cheapest is in Hebei, and we do need to build in Hebei a little bit, and so we will add a few construction centers here in Hebei instead of overseas, because we know, and this is why they're cheap, because they have a shortage of iron. But this is going to be a great place for us to build in anyways. It does have the turmoil. We are incorporating it for the future company, but we will need to build here for the company, and it's going to be a good place to build in either way. And it's also going to have access to both cotton and silk, which is not something we have elsewhere, and so we might even build clothes here, this sort of thing, but we do have to get the coal mines up to level 11 eventually. So we're just going to click this on auto expand and kind of forget about it. You know, it's unfortunate we are getting this turmoil, right? Because we are going to get some negative state construction efficiency, but when we look at it, it's not as bad as it looks. I said it's not as bad as it looks because, oh no, did we lose our bonus? Let's take a look here. Alright, we're going to try and see if we can export steel. We can try, but this is, you know, once we get up and going, well, another problem is we're just researching, like, terrible technology, right? We're not actually, like, playing the game properly, but, you know, if we had water tube boiler, this would be so much easier to keep this stuff profitable, but we're gonna have to wait to nat spread it, and yeah, this is really unfortunate for us. But both water tube boiler, or yeah, especially water tube boiler, because if we could turn on water tube boiler, the labor saving, this would decrease the denominator for the calculation of productivity, and this would make a huge difference. So until we get water tube boiler, we might not even want to be using this company. We're gonna stick in it and just try and tough it out. I mean, maybe it pumps up with our little trade routes, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. You know what we could do here is just depress the price here. of these input goods, and we'll kick those to the front of the queue and try and see if that can help out, because we do want that state construction efficiency. So we know that the armed forces want secret police as well, and so what we'll do is we're actually going to swap over to this righteous government here and take the petite bourgeoisie out of government, at least temporarily, so that we can be on righteous, so we can pass the law way faster, and also be a little bit better on the loyalists versus radicals front, which we are struggling with a little bit now because we have, this high taxes and of course the loud planes outside. So we are starting to build a little bit less here in Yorkshire and Lancashire, and so what we will do is we will pull out the road maintenance and instead swap it over, because we are kind of having some labor problems there. We will increase government wages for just a moment, and then we will put in greener grass campaigns here, because we do have better local economies here, and would prefer to keep building here, but running out of labor is going to be a little bit of a problem, and so this will help us to address this. Again, all this authority, what you're going to do with all this authority in your trunk is, of course, courtesy of the petite bourgeoisie being happy. Now, in the near future, we might do something to make them upset, and that thing is going back to land-based taxation, so that maybe we can eventually move forward to graduated taxation. We have to take a double look, because we don't normally make this, like, 3-tier jump, 1, 2, 3, but, notably, well, we have 2 interest groups support the law. The armed forces just like per capita taxation more, so we should be able to go land-based to graduated, which is normally one that's you get pretty late because it requires socialism, but we're getting socialism in 8 months, so there's all that, We see that Austria, proud European that they are, is making the unfortunate choice of trying to open the Japanese market. Now, of course, we actually wouldn't mind the Japanese market being open, but it's really not about making money here. It's about sending a message, and that message is, you don't get to have fun, Austria. And so what we will do is we will just ask for transfer state for Japanese Hokkaido, so we'll get this no matter what. And so that'll be nice for us. And then, once we're in this play, ba-boom, we'll just, park this huge-ass 75 stack, and we'll ask Austria how they plan on landing Japan when it has a 75 stack of skirmish infantry just sitting there. I don't think we'll need to do anything ourselves. There's no convoy raiding to be done. There's no, we're just going to sit back and just be like, hey, what are you going to do? Of course, we do see, now they're fearful. Wow, minus 75? I guess they just haven't mobilized at all, and we get secret police, joyous bounty, political movement radicalism, revolution progress, secession progression speed, and suppression effect on interest group attraction. The last one is going to be really interesting, especially as we start to get into, the higher tier versions of like what's going on. So let's try and take a look at what we can do. I don't think we necessarily mind charity hospitals. It will cap out. For institutions, we have a huge glut of bureaucracy right now. Don't really want to delete stuff, but we might just, add a ton of secret police, which is going to allow us to suppress really effectively. We're suppressing the rural folk currently, and we can suppress kind of whatever interest group we want as needed, although I don't know exactly which ones we want to suppress, because we kind of, we're in a weird mixed, we're in a place where we don't really know what we want. I do think we want to go total separation and multiculturalism and still try and maintain powerful, things. And so I think we're going to do this. We're going to reform the government. We're going to decrease taxes to get above the contested government slot. So we're going to do that. So this will help out. Also, we particularly don't like the attraction of interest groups in government malice that much, minus 10% attraction, while the PB is in. So reducing that is pretty nice. And then I think we're going to go for total separation, which of course the church really doesn't like, and they will rev over it, but they'll get over it eventually. We don't want free trade. We also do want mercantilism too. Maybe we should have gone mercantilism first. Alright, we're going to take a quick look at agitators and see if we can maybe do anything that's going to be... No. I think, well, I mean, we would prefer that Jingoist to the land, this guy maybe, but these guys is maybe giving a more coherent government. And we don't want, yeah, let's go total separation. And while we're going total separation, we will also come in here, and we will swap over... Ooh, do want these all on market squares. We will swap over to secular on everything. Except for this... No, yeah, let's do this one too. The thing that we are going to keep is free churches on urban center instead of state-run churches. But this will help out quite a bit. And this one, of course, we do like that it employs clerks who are petite bourgeoisie. And so this will help to give us some clout on the Intelligentsia for the purposes of passing this law. And the migration attraction is also going to be pretty nice as we keep going forward. So seeing as we've done the equivalent of Russian communism, we do get this Communist Manifesto event, which I don't think I've ever seen before, or we rush socialism rather. The people's increasing the wealth of blah blah blah, a pamphlet named the Communist Manifesto and written by the socialist agitator. So, you know, it would be amusing if we could try and... I'm trying to think if there's a way to have our cake and eat it too, to go both fascist and communist, and there probably isn't. But you know, either way, we are very likely to get Karl Marx, and so we could choose to give plus 25% or plus 33% intergroup pop attraction. Unite indeed, we have nothing but our chains. And we're left with this total separation idea, which I'm totally not sure of. Given that I'm not even sure that this is the right strategy, and like I think we either go total separation, or we go, you know, it's either total separation or state religion, straight up. And I think that what we do is we end up going whatever we need to proc the ethno-state event chain, but then we go multiculturalism. And ethno-state makes it way more likely for us to get humanists to actually be able to go this. That way we can deal with population problems, and then we have our repressiveness in, like, outlawed dissent and, you know, monarchy and, like, all this other stuff, single-party state, you know, this type of stuff, which notably requires political agitation, so we are, in essence, rushing single-party state. And if we can, like, do a Thanos thing where we're going to collect all the interest groups and perfectly balance them as they should be, we definitely want the trade unions to be a part of it, and now Marx is in charge of these trade unions. Notably, this is the fastest we've ever gotten a communist. It's like super, super early. Look at that beard. Look at the beard. Look at it. Okay, so I think that I just don't know. I really like the Anglican Church's bonus, too. You know, with this company throughput bonus, I think this is really good. I think losing that is part of why our boyo is having some problems. And he's continuing to have some problems. And so I think we're gonna ditch him for another girl. So currently, minting, we are getting like around 84k from minting. So if we use the minting company, we might be able to get a little bit higher. I think we have a singular gold mine. And so we could disband this and put in the minting company instead, until we start seeing prosperity on some of these things. Our lack of tech is a little bit of a problem for these. We could also put in the Great Western Railway. This would not be unreasonable, but we are almost certainly going to hit, you know, oh, we need a level 6 gold mine. Yeah. Do we even want to swap off it if we couldn't do the gold? I don't think we do. Feels bad, man. Ugh. I mean, here's to maybe trying to get back up on it, but we are struggling by the fact that we haven't researched good tech. But we have swayed into this battle for getting a state that we will have no access to. And so while we were improving relations with a few boyos, what we're instead going to do is we're going to ditch improving relations here, and we are going to bankroll Argentina, and we are already bankrolling Chile, and we're going to try and get one into our customs union, because in just a moment here you will see, suddenly we don't have very good access, now do we? It's not too big a problem, but, oh, this is the one we were waiting for. They use all of, like, their maneuvers here, so they can't even return New York, so it really is fantastic. And we got another play here, too? Come on. Just so many pies, so little time. So we get an event, scandal in the home counties, Thomas Barnes, who's actually the leader of the petite bourgeoisie. We can make him step down, or we can have him lose popularity. We don't want him to lose popularity. I don't know how popular he is already. He's kind of neutral. We know that we have 2 market liberal admirals that are petite bourgeoisie, and we have no generals. And so I think we like the idea of him resigning, because we'd be delighted if one of these admirals replaces him. And one does. He is liked, 35 liked, and he's a market liberal, so he is going to be a little bit easier for us to maintain happiness on. And we would absolutely love it if the party split and the petite bourgeoisie joined with the Industrialists. We are at some point going to try and spike a single party, and so, you know, we need to come up, you know, in the interim with an insidious plan, because I think that this nature is not just going to be a fascist run. It's going to be a run where we try and perfectly balance these interest groups, as they should be, by the way. You know, it is theoretically possible to get 5 powerful interest groups and 1 demarginalized interest group at the same time. Now, that's basically impossible, because they need to be above 20% clout to get powerful in the first place. And you're like, well, isn't that 100% clout? They only could drop below powerful if they get below 18% clout. So in theory, you could have 5 groups on 18% clout, which is 90% of your total clout, and then another one on, you know, 4% or whatever, so that it avoids getting demarginalized. And this is the most you could possibly get in terms of approval. Now, we have unfortunately gone secret police, and this strategy works much better with guaranteed libs. But we'll pretend that that's this is part of the plan. And so we need to think about which 4 interest groups, because 5 is basically impossible, we want to try and massage into being powerful and in government for our single party state. And so I'm thinking that we want industrialists, we want the PB definitely, we actually would love to have both the Intelligentsia and the Anglican Church, but we might just settle for the Anglican Church. And then, migration attraction is so good though. But I think we really like this throughput bonus. And then the trade unions, led by Karl Marx, probably the last one. And so, but here's the thing: we also want, I think, total separation so that we can do migration. Because it'll make it impossible to get migration from places like Beijing without it, because none of these guys, we can't convert unless there is a Protestant here already. If there was already a Protestant here, then we could, and we could even go state atheism. Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind. But we're launching an insidious plan here. I think we're going to conclude the episode here now, though. This episode's been primarily going down the road to fascism, you know, by putting in the secret police, the super secretist of police, and, you know, trying to hatch a plan to have the perfect single-party state, which notably, like, it is nice that we can just do single-party state in addition to the fascism, but we want to try and set something up, and we want to cook something up where we get to have, you know, everyone be powerful all at once. And to that end, we might actually start bolstering, let's bolster this trade unionists instead of suppressing the petite bourgeoisie. I think I like this better, so we'll need to come in here. Now that Marx is in charge, this will do quite nicely. Oop, not the one we wanted. That's the one we wanted. But yeah, that'll be today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm stuff, and next episode we will be thumbing America's Pie for the 3rd time. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove the Chevy, tried to take some Mexico, now you don't get French fries.